Hey, this is Matt. Welcome to another episode of Unbearable 73. So I'm gonna do my live reaction to Wheel of Prime, excuse me, Amazon's or Amazon's Wheel of Prime, season 2, episode 2. Too much. Uh, so you'll see the subtitles and you'll see the time on the bottom. I'll make it a little bigger. So if you want to follow along with me and get my intake, I'm not going to edit this down or anything like that. If you want to watch 20 minutes of this or 10 minutes of this, and maybe that's the beginning and the end or whatever, then what I'll do is I'll upload shortly after an actual like 5 or 10 minute review. So if you want to hear my thoughts on it, some thoughts on it, full spoiler of course, we'll do that. Anyway, let's get this going. Prime Video. Previously on this stupid show, there's groomer Alana trying to groom people, and then there's Leandrin blasting her in the vagina. There's Uno in the middle there, beasting up. There's Perrin's stupid vision. Noman Bale. The stupid scene. We wish you didn't make it back. This is what happened to Rand basically last season. Listen. This is now we had 10 seconds to Rand in the first episode, so we'll get more seconds here. Now, okay, so what we're seeing there, and I think we only see like one scene of it, and the whole stupid thing is, in the entire first book, and in the second book, um, oh god, I want to pause this, okay? So in the entire first book, right, and the second book, Balzaman, or otherwise known as, mostly in the first book, who was really Ishmael, pretending to be the Dark One, was tormenting Matt, Perrin, and Rand in their dreams, okay? Perrin got the wolf dream to protect him. Rand eventually learned to began to be more active because he's a channeler that can be more active in the dream stuff. Not that he knows like Egwene knows, but eventually he learned how to actually reduce the power to keep people out. And Matt gets. I mean, once they figure out that who Rand is the actual important one, Ishmael gets ganked at one point. So those are big sequences, and you get almost none of them the first and second season. And of course, they introduced Celine, or Sholene as I'm going to call her. Look, no disrespect to this actress, okay? No disrespect to her, right? Full on book spoilers, guys. I can't do it any other way. So, Celine is a character that gets introduced in the second book, The Great Hunt. She shows up kind of while Ingtar is leading a party that has Rand as second in command, along with Perrin and Udo and Massima and the other Shanarians. They're going to try to get the horn and the dagger back. Matt is laid up back in Shinar, and he gets taken to the White Tower. Blah blah blah. So there's a quest here, right? That's supposed to be happening, which doesn't happen if you got the clue, right? Well, you'll see Perrin and the Shanarians on it, but you won't see Rand on it, which we should see on it. Anyway, Celine shows up on that, and she begins to sort of demonstrate attractiveness towards Rand, and try to encourage him to seize the power and use the dark side. Celine is the Forsaken Lanfear. Now, what do we need to know about her? Again, no disrespect to this actress, okay? but this is part of Lanfear's character, right? Like we can wind up all the lifestyles should look good, but they don't, or whatever. Fine, okay. Lanfear is supposed to be as beautiful as it's possible to be as a human being. Like, think, I don't know, who is your favorite people? Like, if you're a man who finds a woman attractive, who are your favorites? Young Elizabeth Taylor, Sophia Loren, Lena Horne, Shakira, whoever you think that woman is. Lanfear is supposed to be better looking than her, right? And Lanfear knows this. Okay, she doesn't like she didn't use the power to make herself good looking. She was just born that way, and she's also extremely intelligent, and she's entirely self motivated. She didn't join the Dark One because she was evil and wanted to hurt other people or dominate the world. Because she wanted she was self motivated for her own power and all that, right? So, and also a backstory. She loved Luz Therum and Telamon. Okay, Luz Therum kind of got the crazy vibe off her and went to when she married Olenna, which drove her crazy. Okay, so she sees the Dragon Reborn uh, as an opportunity to get her true love, Luz Therum and Telamon's soul, and get together with him. You know, she almost doesn't care about the Dark One's agenda, but what she's doing does fit the Dark One's agenda. Okay, for more complicated reasons. Now, why is this stupid? Okay, so Lanfear was putting a full whammy on Rand. Okay, she was looking attractive to him. She wasn't like being like a slut or whatever. She was being like a coy, seductress type of thing, and Rand resisted it because of his naivete. Kind of how if you're a Naruto fan, how Naruto didn't know Hinata liked him for years. He just didn't understand the vibe. That's now that you can't do that with Rand, Madara, Perrin because they decided to soap opera this and make them all into what do you call male sluts, Steves or whatever. There's an old name for them. You know, so they had to sexualize all of them. So you can't have that dynamic which is a little bit, which has a bit of a comedy element, like all the series of Celine / Lanfear trying to seduce him, and he's just resisting it due to, and not seduce him for sex, seduce him to be a husband. Okay, understand that. And it gets essentially turned into a little bit of comedy, like a dark humor element, because she can't understand why he's just seems to be resisting her. When the fact is, it's the signal not even getting through to Rand. Okay, like Rand is just beginning to like as he always thought he was gonna marry a queen, and he just beginning to see other women like that, like Min, for example. Okay, not Max as the show has it, but Min, the real Min. And so we lose a big dynamic in the book in Rand's character growth, and we also lose one of the funniest things that happened in the first 4 or 5 books is every time Rand, Perrin, or Matt encounters a woman, right, and they get confounded, they always think or say, like Rand would say, I don't understand these women. I really wish Matt or Perrin were around so I could ask them because they know this stuff, And all 3 of them keep saying that over and over again. Anyway, back to the sham. This is also not how Rand al'Thor talks. He doesn't talk like this, like he's trying to read poetry all the time. He was raised on a farm. He's blunt spoken. Stupid. So we got Rand going to his day job, dressing like a bum. Another thing that happened is when Moraine sent him on this quest, she knew that this was going to be a big character development for Rand. So she got rid of all his shabby farm clothes and dressed him like a lord. And she did the same thing with Perrin too as well. And they were complaining about it constantly, like, well, these clothes make up and whatever. But Ingtar was also told that Rand was second in command, and so Rand was struck into a position of leadership. Okay. I don't understand why. I mean, I know why because they think they're better than Jordan. but like I don't cognitively like rationally understand the writing logic of making up all their own crap, which does worse, which is worse, far worse than anything they could claim Jordan's work did. So Rand's an orderly in an insane asylum. Like, I wonder if the whole thing is a dream sequence. Or I wonder if they're portraying the taint on the power, because you can't call it Sidin and Sidar because the show is not distinguished between the two yet. Okay, the show is resisting trying to do that, but I wonder if how do I put it, they if they're portraying the taint on Sidin as the Dark One whispering to them himself. Like what? Why is Lan taking a nap? Yeah, fine. He took. Oh, that's right. Because I can't. I still can't accept that. Like this isn't land. This is show land. I just can't. Land would not have gone down like a bitch. That's about the most Varen-like thing she does the entire 3 episodes. Varen is she's like Sherlock Holmes. She knows stuff. She makes it a point to know stuff, but she's a little absent-minded in the day-to-day immediate stuff. Well, maybe you should have rode out in the middle of the night with fades out there. Again, this makes no sense. See, in the books, Lan is and Rand are very similar in the sense that when you think of Rand's character arc, Rand has like his father. He has his father who created him, which is Jandul of the Aiel. Then he has. Okay, Paul. I'm gonna pause this. Okay, because this is actually a decent little scene. Um, then he has his father who raised him, Rand Tamalthor. Then he has his sort of father slash mentor who brought him into the world of war more, which was Lan. Okay, so and why am I saying this? Because Lan learned something from different male characters along his arc until I would say at least the fifth to somewhere in the fifth or seventh book before he fully. Not that he's not mature into his own man, but when you're a man, or I guess I don't know as a woman, but as a man, older men are like you look to them for examples, look for mentors, you know, to try to when you're trying to piece together your manhood. Ideally, your father should be the most strongest one, and for Rand, of course, that is. But he's not going to be the only one. Your grandpa, for example, or your uncles, or maybe when you first get a job, the boss at work is a great mentor to you, or you know, and you can have a female mentor too. But but you as well, but not so much for your manhood part, for your job skill part, you know. And like in the military, the gunnery sergeants, for example, the training sergeants, and the Marines, they're sort of mentors, you know. It's so Lan has a similar path to Rand in that they both see themselves as fighting a war that's going to kill them. Their death is inevitable, so they don't want to get close to people. So in the books, Nynaeve and Lan are very attracted to each other early, but not like in the show where they just doinked already. Because she's not a shy farm girl because she's the wisdom of the village. She's mature. She's supposed to be about 5 years older than all of them, closing in on 30. So she kind of knows what she wants, but you know, so and she and Lan hit it off personality wise. He respects her strength. He respects her. You know, he respects she doesn't take any crap. You know, I think Land kind of finds women with a temper attractive, blah blah blah, right? Anyway, um, and they love each other by the time of probably the end of the second book, basically, right? And Moraine finds out at one point that she's going to die. Okay, that there's a prophecy essentially, and tells Lan about it. And Lan is like, well, okay, I'll just go back to the wall and continue my fight because he stopped to help Moraine become a water. And she's like, no, I made arrangements for you. I'm going to pass your bond. This is a violation of the Aes Sedai way. It's against the rules to do this. Because she feels that Lan and Nynaeve deserve to be together. And so she's going to pass Lan's bond along to another Aes Sedai who can hold it for Nynaeve until Nynaeve becomes Aes Sedai, and then the bond will be given to her so her and Lan can be together, right? And so Lan gives Nynaeve his the royal signet of Melchior, and she keeps it. She I don't know if she even gave it to her yet, but she carries it around with her at all times, you know, and that's a big part of Lan's character arc. We're getting none of that here. So in the book, Moraine is very dominant in that sense. And she says, "I'm going to do because you're my big brother. I'm going to make sure you're happy." I mean, they have a little brother, big brother relationship, and despite the fact that you're wallowing in this pity, you know. Anyway, where in the show here, they're having it like, well, she's pushing him away, because she's you know, they're going the whole wrong approach to this, you know. Now, that's Ingtar. I don't know if you could see, but if you're watching, right over Ingtar's axe-like weapon is Masema, who's played by an actor who's played in these war shows before. Masema eventually becomes the prophet of the dragon, and watch his fight scenes. That he's a legitimately his background scenes with fighting are legitimately the best at fighting in this whole show. And by the way, Rand, who should have been trained by now by Lan, he should already be an elite level warrior in terms of training, just lacking experience, because Lan had been training Rand since they first met. Okay, that's why Rand was sent on this thing to get experience, not just to be a lord, but to get combat experience with the Shannarians. You know. Now, right there, right in front of Loial, is a character who gets done dirty. A little foreshadowing. His name is Uno Bonamas. Uno Nomesta. Okay. They got a great actor to play him, and you could see, like, the actor knows they're wasting the character. So he's just vamping it all the time, but that's how Uno acts. He's bold, he's presentable, and he has a big role at the end of the book series. Okay, and well, you'll see what happens. Oh, they've eliminated a character, by the way. What was his name? He's a sniffer from a Shannarian sniffer. He can sniff. He can smell residual violence, basically. The character's name is Huron, and I wonder if Jordan got the name from Tolkien. Yep. Well, there's speculation he was named from Tolkien's character Huron. But anyway. And the character in the lead, of course, is Elias, or Elias. Thank God Moraine isn't there to drown anyone. Bildo is another term for Ogier. If they were consistent, the Shannarians were established as an Asian culture. Yet now we see very few Asian Shannarians. They should, if they're going to be consistent about this diversity crap, Make the Shenarians Asians and be done with it. Why is Perrin carrying a sword? He should be carrying an axe. Now that fits. Perrin has enhanced senses. Why is Ingtar letting Perrin go first? Perrin's having some sort of. They're linking this to the wolf. So Perrin, by virtue of being what he is, gets messages from the wolves. In the fandom, we're debating like what they're trying to do with this. Are they saying this is the wolf vision, or are they saying this is the what was happening when the party was traveling in the Great Hunt, where they were seeing visions and whatever, the flickers. The fact that we heard wolves howling and Elias can see that. I I I go with the notion that it's the what do you call it? It's the wolf vision. Now, Perrin first met Elias in the first book, and he began to explain stuff to him. Dude, the dude who plays Massima is ripped. That's another thing, okay? So Rand looks like an Aiel, right? Let me stop this again. Some background context. The Aiel are from the Aiel race. Rand is an Aiel by birth. I mean, his father was an Aiel and his mother was Tigraine. I don't remember her name, but she was the previous daughter of Andor prior to Morgause, and she disappeared at the beginning. Told the prophecy she has to go and become an Aiel made in the sphere, or the world's gonna end. So she went and did that, became Rand's mom, blah blah blah, whatever. But Rand looks like an Aiel, and there was a big war right around the time of the year of Rand's birth, the Aiel War, where the Aiel invaded, and the particular place they invaded is Karhane. Okay, Karhane, they did it for reasons that I don't need to go into here. But the point is, if Rand's lurking about in Karhane and looks like an Aiel, they should be quite discriminatory towards him. And this is like the only, you see, like maybe one, you barely ever see it. This is an entirely made up character, Errol. He has not in the novels. There's no, everything Rand does with him has nothing to do with any of the storyline, and it's stupid. They just did what Robert Jordan did, and just fucking stupid, fracking stupid. Now, the term brigade refers to hundreds, perhaps thousands of people. So no, that's nonsense. Essentially, they have Rand doing this for training. Rand is also supposed to be taller. He's actually taller than Perrin, but just built like a linebacker, whereas Perrin's built like an offensive lineman. This is stupid. How you can't learn? You can't learn any form of combat like this. You can't. So they took away Lan training Rand, which would have been a cool character bonding moment and given more for Lan to do, and replaced that with the crazy guy telling the names of the forms. Now, Nynaeve can already heal to an extent with the power, but she has to do it through herbs. She uses her anger at people being sick and her knowledge of herbalism, and her power, one wisdom power, enhances her herbal remedies. This is I did this Leandrin. This is not like book Leandrin. Why they took this character of all fracking characters to give an enhanced role and make into a sort of sympathetic character? Like you're not supposed to have sympathy for Leandrin, okay? She's a Black Aja member. She's a Dark Sister, and she's one of the worst human beings in the thing. Okay, and we know. I mean, she's doing this to an extent because Moraine is blackmailing her. So they're giving her like a tragic backstory, which we'll see later. But this is not like there's characters they could have done this with without having them be blackmailed. So, in theory, that's no more nonsense. Okay, what happens when they're novices? And they're largely taught in classes because there's so many novices and relatively few sisters in Tarvalon. Okay, most of the Aes Sedai are actually doing stuff, right? And there aren't as many that there used to be. There's right. So then when they become accepted, the Aes Sedai analyze their tendencies and trends and all that, right? And here's Leandrin's sympathetic backstory, right? They that's when they look at the Ajas that they are likely to join, and like Nynaeve, someone wants to heal, and she wants to like help people, so she might trend towards a yellow or a blue, right? So yellow and blue sisters will but she's also angry, so those maybe red. So they'll have those sisters in particular teach them some classes and whatever to see which Aja they're more likely to join. So by the time they actually go from accepted to Aes Sedai, the choice of which Aja to join is fairly obvious to the candidate. Again, this is part of the storyline in the book, briefly. But he's not locked away at all. He's not in a prison cell. What keeps Matt from leaving in the book is he's too weak from hunger. He needs to eat like tens of thousands of calories per day, or he can barely walk. Well, after the big healing, right? So he fakes being weak to be not weak, but he should still be weak, right? It took months for Matt to get over what being cleansed from the dagger. And now we're going for the Matt Shank redemption. Real world tip. Let me give you. So if you ever are stuck in a castle and need to dig or a brick building, you don't jab in and out. You get a metal object, like it could be a knife or spoon, and you scrape the mortar along the edges, because and especially in the olden building where it's not really concrete, it's actually just like mud style, like a mud cement style mortar. It'll scrape off because it's been dried out, and it's just pressure and time that keeps it in place. You know. Why is Egwene walking with her hands in her pockets? This annoys the fuck out of me. So now we have a character introduction. So this is Elaine Trakan, the daughter heir of Andor. They're supposed to be roommates. The novice is supposed to live together as roommates. And this is BS. They would not let a novice, no matter how rich she is, live any way other than. All that crap she brought with her would not be allowed in her room. They don't get to. They wouldn't have access to that stuff until they're at least accepted. Again, she would have no idea about that. This is a big debate, but it comes up in the book when Morgause encounters Rand. At this point, Egwene probably would know about that, but Elaine would not even. If Morgause barely remembered the two rivers being part of our kingdom, because they said no troopers there or whatever. Oh, the evil witch's name, Katsuan. ocular fucking sandpaper. I'm getting a twitch headache just seeing her name on the screen. Sheriam, Groomer Alana. Maybe she's hitting on Sheriam. The actress who plays Sheriam should be a redhead. Now, the actress, as much as I hate to say her name, the actress playing Sheriam actually looks somewhat like Ketsuan. There are vast. There is a vast amount of there's hundreds of Aes Sedai there, and there are like 3 sitters from every Aja. So, Nynaeve still has way more screen time than Rand. Shodave, I should say. Now, I want to point out there's literal daylight behind that panel in the previous scene. Why is she hunching when she can stand up fully straight? A friend of mine pointed out you can see the same actors used repeatedly, like that actress right there. At first, I think it's because she's following her, but she just sort of the way they redid these scenes, they did stop cast, and the actors and actors just appearing like the same 20 of them over and over again. Because I'm sure the peasants will know. Why is there a paddle wheel, a spinning wheel, where there's no minimal current? I think the wheel is actually spinning counter to the current. And they're turning Loyal into the Sasquatch from $6 Million Man. The actor is gaining a massive amount of weight. So this is the most Varen-like that she is. But she deduces basically that Rand is the dragon, and Moraine doesn't threaten to kill her. She incorporates her into the plan. No more bullshit. She doesn't lead. Moraine knows she can't lead the dragon to victory. Moraine, well, this is Showrain. Real Moraine knows that Rand has to lead them to victory. Has to become a leader. That's why she sent them on the quest she does in this book. And that's not what happens in the book either. Rand, the Dragon Reborn, is going to break the world again. So at this point in the books, the Three Eyes Sedai who know Rand the Dragon and what's going on are Moraine, Swan, and Varen. This is a drop for what happens at the end of the Great Hunt, which is probably gonna happen like the fourth or fifth episode this season. This is so stupid. Like I keep getting more and more frustrated every time I see it. Why would you not just use what Robert Jordan wrote to do the same stuff better? Robert Jordan's storyline don't make the characters look like idiots. This is the Beltane Festival, which is the Spring Festival. We're about to see Rand do something that isn't even a character for Rand in the books. Um, they're just even walking like an asshole. Again, that's not what the taint is. It's not what voices whispering in your head. I think I think they're trying to make that well, what happened in the book is that Luce there and Telemon's personality remanifests. So I'm wondering if that's what they're doing with that angle, with the whispers. Jolene looks grimy and sweaty. Man, 30 minutes. This episode feels like it's 3 hours long. I only watched 30 minutes of it. You know what we need? We need better writing. We need better pacing. We need better. So in the book, which again is not something in the book, because Egwene on her own is insanely powerful. This is more of that World of Warcraft architecture. And I also want to point out that yes, Leandro would visit his character. If this is not a book character or a book storyline, more of their like we know better than Robert Jordan nonsense. But as an Aes Sedai, she is now rich and should be able to pay people to do this, take care of this dude. So we think the debates over who this character is. So the question is this her husband, her or her son? Because I said I can live longer than humans, but this scene makes no sense, no sense at all. Not even in the context of Sholandrin having a backstory that doesn't make that's not Muhu evil, but so Book Leandrin is only about 40 years old, something like that. Um, Arguably, she could have a kid, but not a kid who's like a human who's like 90 years old or whatever. And she hasn't lived long enough for that. The oldest Aes Sedai in the show is Katsuan, who's like almost 300. Hey, 37 minutes in. again, Min wouldn't be held prisoner either. She would. Um, so I'm calling this character Max, not Min, because she is not Min. In fact, she looks like Short Round. And and then they do something stupid where he'd spend weeks digging through one brick, and she digs up the whole wall in like 2 days. Again, more eyes to dissect. Like. Why are they like having make all of the greens sluts? So this is the origin from New Spring, which I reviewed as a book. Okay, adolescents are browns. So now the browns are sluts too. No, not exactly that. It's a custom where an older woman essentially takes a younger man of the nobility as a kind of like a concubine relationship. She's a formal concubine until he gets married. She doesn't teach him sex. She teaches him politics and all sorts of stuff like that. It's like an older woman of the nobility, younger man of the nobility type of thing. So this no, that's not when they do. That is not when they do. So what happened is Moraine traveled with Lan and his best friend uh, on a way to a particular meeting, and she kept it in a very like not evil but like pranksterish way. Kept doing things to Lan, and he very stoically just ignored it, and they formed a big brother little sister relationship. Then after the conflict at the end, they decided she asked him to be her warder. Well, at least Min is wearing pants. I'll give her something to that. I mean, she shouldn't have a boyish haircut, but she's, a mohawk. You didn't even call the walk for a woman. So why is Matt wearing the same bathrobe that Rand and the dude and the mail order and the orderlies in Carhane are wearing? It's like a standard thing that like men just wear the blue bathrobe. Min wouldn't tell him this. I think Matt eventually found out, but Min doesn't like to tell people about disability. This is like pathetic. I mean, this is a non-book event she has a vision of. So there's speculation that see, Rand has a wound in his side that never heals the entirety of the series because it has a corruption of Shadar Logoth in it. Um, and so there's speculation that Matt's going to get the Shadar Logoth dagger back, get repossessed, and stab Rand with it. No one cares. Well, I guess show fans care. Like, people who actually like the books, the real Wheel of Time. People watch the Wheel of Time don't care. I mean, I had to do this. At least she's reasonably attractive. They can show her getting banged or something to make the scene worth watching. Can we all forget? Can you help us all forget this nonsense? So the daughter heir of Andor, and we get introduced to her character, and we learn that she's made to booze with the one power. That's how you're gonna do it. No, yes, it is known that Nynaeve is powerful, but no, they don't talk about it like that. 47 minutes in. This is at least the first episode was like mildly exciting. Well, I think we get a battle at the end of this. Now, in sheer point of fact, which is true, which I think is a decent line, okay, but in sheer point of fact, Egwene was not struggling. I'm a queen bitch. I know what challengers in the throne look like. So this is a shit fest. They should be naked, but not that you want to see them naked. There should also be at least 5 Aes Sedai there. So this is the test to become accepted. She's supposed to go in the arches naked. There's more of that stolen Dune music. They're supposed to be connected and not in decay. Oh, here comes another stupid scene. So, I think that paper is helping to reveal that land fears after Rand, which is why Moraine writes off powerless, and it's how Moraine dies. Yeah, she now she does not obviously not going to stay there very long in the show, but in the books she was gone for quite a few books. No, no, nope, no, no, and nope. The courage. Not exactly, but yeah. That's not exactly true. The eight eyes to die to cut someone off. Blah blah blah. Um, Severing it can be done as an attack. I'm not sure every one of them knows it was powerful enough. This is stupid. This why just do what happened in the book. Have have Lan go with her and have her like seemingly die fighting Lanfear, and then have Lan, whatever. Yeah, that's a death sentence. She has to be able to touch him, which means the Warriors have to beat Land, and there's no chance both two of them combined can beat Land. Well, she could now because she's severed. Stupid, 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 stupid is, stupid does. Well, the good thing of having dropped 3 episodes, since they did drop 3 episodes on one day, I believe only 5 more episodes left, so it's only 5 more weeks of this crap. Hopefully, the Giants will have a good season, so that I have something to deal with on the weekends. And of course, Rings of Prime will drop, I think, in December, which is more suicide time. Oh, here comes stupidity. If you thought some of the Rings of Prime battles are bad, the only saving grace in this fight from a visual point of view is Masima. Now, I want to point out that Perrin has enhanced senses, yet these guys somehow sneak into his room. Well, so there's Masima being a badass. That's right. They're gonna have Perrin dragged for some entire scene. This never happened in the book, by the way. The the Sean Chan and Perrin never meet at this point. And another stupidity: the Sean Chan would never disrespect the Ogier. The Ogier who in the Sean Chan, the homeland, they they loyal to the Empress. They're in the Death Watch Guard. They're the gardeners. They know the Ogier are special. They know Hawkwind trusted them. Arthur Hawkwind. He built Ogier cities. The fair fact that there's an Ogier in the town, presumably this guy, would probably have stopped this attack for them to see like why is there an Ogier with these people? Is this more apparent not using an axe? Sasquatch smash. Now, why are they stopping to fight? Why wouldn't they, keep fighting? Here's the fetish army. If you're not gonna put the collar on them, right? Because it may seem demeaning. Why would you then put a gag on them? A ball gag. And more dragon parent. Again, as soon as Sora sees an Ogier, she would pull him to the side and show him a sign of respect. Even with Ishamael there manipulating shit, there was no circumstances when I mean. So I think in the show, they're probably turning it out that Ishmael is manipulating the Sean Chan. What happened in the show is most of the Forsaken picked the kingdom and basically took it over. Oh, here's Rand, all happy-go-lucky. He's gonna, Oh, look, another woman boss. And here he is, another character assassination. This is stolen music. So they have enough orderlies to do one-on-one orderlies with all the insane people. Okay, so let's kill that. No, where's my mouse pointer? There you go. Okay, so that was a crap fest. I don't expect you to watch the whole thing. I mean, maybe you can jump through it or whatever. I just want to get my general sense of thoughts on the paper. So if someone's curious about where I see problems and whatever, that's there. Like I said, if you did watch the whole thing, I'm gonna do like a 10-minute second video where it's just my sort of quick review with major points on it, so you can have that. My name is Matt. It's Mineral 73. Give me a like if you can. Thank you.